Hello, weirdos. My name is Dice Roland. Welcome to Brain Mucus. This is a horror of mental health episode where my guests and I discuss a movie of their choosing. The goal is not to judge or review the movie based on whether or not it's good or bad. It's to explore the significance of it regarding mental health and specifically in the lives of my guests. Today, I have very special guests, being Ken and Ashley joining me. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good.
Doing great. Very
How are
excited to
you?
be here.
Doing all right. Like
All
I
right.
was mentioning before, it's wet here. It's raining,
Yeah.
so perhaps that's convenient weather.
Mhm.
Right.
I don't know. So for anybody who doesn't somehow know who you guys are, why don't you kind of explain a little bit?
You take it away.
So we are Sledgehammer Horror. We do my first horror movie, where I bring guests on and talk to them about the first horror movie they watched and how it affected them. And then Ashley writes a couple different segments.
We have a segment called Didn't See That Coming, where we take a movie with a twist and kind of talk about how the twist affected us. And then we do a segment called Versus, where we take an original versus a remake and verse them against each other.
And then we just started doing a new one called In Defense of, where we defend movies that are not very popular throughout the genre and the fans of. And Dice's episode will be out in just a couple of weeks. So we're very excited for you guys to check that out. We're very excited with how that turned out.
Yes.
Hey, excellent. It shall be fun, of course.
Yeah.
Hello, John.
Hi,
What's up, John?
Welcome. Welcome. Okay, so I think people already know just by the thumbnail, of course, but
Mhm.
what's the horror movie that you guys picked out?
We chose Come Play.
Yeah. And this is a first time watch for me. I watched it just a couple of days ago. I was aware of it, but I never really watched it. But I'm kind of notorious for that. So forgive me. But that is a movie from 2020 by
Mhm.
Jacob Chase, who is also the one who created the short film Larry not
Yes.
too long before. I watched that as well, so we'll be able to talk about both. But before we do that, I want to ask, because this is important, how did you guys get into horror?
Hey Adrian. So I personally got into horror when I was very young. Actually, my first ever horror movie that I watched was Pet Sematary while we were camping. It was raining, and I popped that in, and me and my 5-year-old little brother watched that, and I loved the anxiety and the way it made me feel, and I just couldn't get enough ever since. I was probably like 7, 8 years old.
Yeah.
Good
So,
lord. Points. You get points.
My grandma introduced me to House, 1986. I think she was tired of watching Masters of the Universe and Thundercats. And my parents owned a video store, Downtown Video. And my grandma just rented that one day and was like, this should be fun for a 5-year-old. And really, honestly, I wouldn't be here without House. Like, that's the movie that not only got me started in the horror genre, but it really, like, I feel like my life began. I know that sounds so corny, but like, you know, because I was like 5.
Yeah.
Obviously, my life hadn't even began yet, but when I watched House, there was just something inside me that clicked,
Mhm.
and it was just like, I love this. Like,
Yeah.
I need this in my life all the time, and I'm still to this day a huge fan of that film. And it's without House, without Pet Sematary, Sledgehammer Horror would not exist.
Right. You know,
There you
it's
go.
funny
Think house.
that Pet Cemetery. So most people probably don't know this, but back in the day, you would like record stuff on VHS, and Pet Cemetery was actually recorded on VHS with Jason X. So
Oh,
it
wow.
could have got what either way for me. Yeah,
I'm so glad that
it was Pet Cemetery. Yeah.
The OG version of pirating movies.
Yep.
Yes.
Hey, what's up, The Horror Show?
Hi.
Yeah. Well, those are, I think, my personal opinion, very good movies. I like both. So
Yeah.
I'm glad. I'm glad.
I'm not a fan of Jason X.
I
I'll
couldn't
make
tell.
that. Like, look, and I'm a huge Friday the 13th fan. but I don't know. I know that it's like a cult classic now,
Yeah.
but it's just I don't know. I can't get into it. I
But
want to.
The nitrogen kill is pretty
That's
much
cool.
the only thing that I really like about it.
There's funny one-liners. He just wanted his machete back. Like, there are funny one-liners and things like that. But overall, it's just I don't go into a Friday the 13th movie to see Goofy. That's not what I want. I don't want to see Lifetime Channel special effects and terrible acting and shitty characters. Like, I know that 90% of the movies I guess you could say are like that, but I don't know. Something about it.
I am no I mean, I appreciate Friday the 13th, but I'm not exactly a huge defender of, so I'll just plead the fifth on that.
Yeah.
I'll just stay quiet.
That's kind of where I'm at with that franchise.
Fair enough. It takes a beating. The franchise takes a bit of a beating, but that's okay. We are here to talk about a different movie, which is all right. So, on that same kind of subject, what in your opinions would be the mental illness or illnesses, disorder, whatever you want to call it, that's represented in Come Play?
I was like, are you thinking?
No. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of autism that's talked about throughout the movie.
Yeah.
It's the main focal point of the movie is low functioning autism.
Yeah. Well, just being accepted by your peers and just wanting a friend and just to feel like I said, accepted.
But there's also that there's a nice twist to the movie about bullying. And how sometimes the person that you can perceive as this evil, nasty bully is really someone that's also just trying to be accepted.
Right.
And when they thought that they themselves were outcast and put out, they lashed out, at the person that they felt was pushing them away.
Right.
So I love how, because there's movies that we love, like Child's Play 3, and you have a bully in that movie that never gets his redemption. And it is really nice to see someone that is a bully get a redeeming arc in a movie, especially a young boy.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of autism, you have a lot of being away on an island by yourself, you have that anxiety feeling, and even the mother in the film, she goes through a lot of anxiety about what her son really feels about her, and something that people may or
trying to connect with him, like she has issues with that.
It's something people may not know about Ken and Ashley. Not Sledgehammer Horror, but Ken and Ashley. Autism is very, very close to us in our own children and our nieces and nephews. I worked as a parapro at our school for a couple of years where I would work with autistic kids. And there's a lot that they do in this movie that is very accurate to the spectrum and how every kid is different, whether you have autism or not.
Yeah.
But every kid is different, and the way that you treat certain things is different for different people. And I love the usage of SpongeBob SquarePants throughout this film. The comfortability that brings.
Because that also plays close to home.
Sure.
With our nephew.
And a big thing about this movie too is I had a meeting with someone that was high functioning autism. When I was a parapro and I was working with autistic children, and he was asking me some of the things that I would do, and I told him that hey, look at my eyes and we'll talk, and he was like, nope. He's like, sometimes for someone like me, when I'm looking in someone's eyes, it literally feels like I'm looking in the sun, and it causes me physical pain. He's like, so for someone with autism, you should never force them to look you in the eyes.
Yeah.
And in this movie, to see that juxtaposition of the mom wanting that affection so bad, but knowing not to force it on him to look her in the eyes was something that I felt was super genuine and super real. And she lets it out, he won't even look me in the fucking eyes, she lets that known, and that was a moment in this film that a lot of people might have glazed over that moment.
Yeah.
And for me, that was something that really stuck with me because I know that there are really children that have autism that's what it feels like to them. They feel like if they're looking someone in the eyes, they're getting punished, and it causes physical pain to them.
It's just, and if it's not like physical pain, it's just awkward for them to look someone in the eyes. Like it feels awkward.
And you should never ever force anybody to do something they don't want to do on any level.
Right.
but
Right.
especially a child with autism that's already having a troubled time, a hard time communicating their feelings to you, to try to force them to look at you, and they can't communicate the fact that this is painful. For them to touch on that in a horror movie like this was super inspirational to me, because I was like, this is genuine. Like, that's really what some of these children, unfortunately, that's what they feel.
Yeah.
So, you talk about the mental illnesses that come along with the movie, but it's also a teaching moment for people that are watching this movie that may have someone that is low functioning, low communicative autism in their family. Maybe some pointers that they can go with. Do not make them look you in the eye. If they're not doing one thing the way that you want them to, focus on the things that they are doing, the ways that they are communicating with you. It may not always be verbal, but they are always trying to communicate with you. So focus on the things that they are trying to communicate instead of the ways that they're not.
Well, and just like you talked about the mom, like her frustrations with not completely understanding him, and even at one point she was like, why can't you just be normal, and she completely regretted that, like, because he can't be normal because he's not normal, and it's okay that he's not normal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Normal is subjective anyway.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Who wants to be normal?
Watching this movie, that scene is one that really broke our hearts.
Yeah.
When she screamed that at him, me and her were both just like, "Ooh, no, no!" Because it is different when you're watching a movie like this, because you really do put yourself in the situations. When you have the little boy in this movie really reminds us of our nephew Bryson. The way he communicates, how super intelligent he is. Like, he just totally reminded us of our nephew, and I think that's another reason why you talk about how this can help mental health. We're putting ourselves in the situation and seeing our nephew in the movie,
right?
Yeah,
and it's giving us that clarity of watching him defeat his own demons, so to speak.
Yeah, how to work through it with or without help, in a way. Yeah. That moment that you were mentioning there of how she yelled, "Why can't you just be normal?" immediately reminded me of the Babadook.
Yeah.
So I imagine in a way those would be, obviously they cover different things but can be related. And Joe Bob Briggs just last night was, for Mother's Day, that was one of the movies he was showing quite accidentally to me, coming across that. And it kind of made me realize it could be like a double feature in a way for a mental health thing. So I thought that was rather interesting. I have personally not dealt too closely with autism, either with somebody in my life who has it or myself. But in a way, I can relate to the concept of directly looking at someone's eyes. That was something I had issues with when I was a kid. And I guess in some ways still kind of do. It just feels intimidating in a way. So I'm glad that they did cover that.
Yeah.
I'm glad that was something that they mentioned. And I do agree. From my ignorant perspective, it seems like they really were respectful about the autism perspective.
Yes. Yeah, and the young boy that played, he did such a great job with the way he portrayed autism,
Because a lot of times when you have people that are portraying autism in a film, you have them just literally being stupid or things like that, and he wasn't. He was not inept. He was not off his he wasn't the stereotypical person with mental issues. And that's what I loved about it too, is there's a lot of children that deal with autism that do have savant syndrome, and they're extremely intelligent. They just don't know how to communicate how they're feeling. And to watch this young boy in this film that does have his safe spaces, SpongeBob SquarePants, as silly as that sounds, and he's doing his, the touch, he's doing
the
that.
stimming.
Yeah, the stimming. And it's just like you're watching this, and this kid is not on the spectrum, the actor. And the way that he was able to portray that was fucking beautiful. But there's genuine moments in this film where you feel sad. Like the field scene is heartbreaking. The ending is devastating. I guess devastatingly beautiful, almost in a way. For
Yeah,
Sally.
yeah, what's the term? Beautifully tragic or
Yeah.
something of the sort. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did think that was easy for me to pick up on that last like scene, and I was sitting there going, "Ah, shit, we're crying,
Yeah.
fuck."
Yep.
But it is a beautiful way to wrap it up. In a way, I don't think it's very common in some horror movies to see the parent go that far. Obviously, they'll go
Right.
as far as they can, but they don't always go that far. They'll want a happy ending or something like that. And in a way, it is.
Right. But she also, what I love about that last moment is it's not in vain for her because he does look directly in her eyes.
Yeah.
So she knows that he loves her in that moment.
Yeah.
And some of the ways that they did the practical effects in the film with the sticky hand, like that moment, like that anxiety in that moment where he's got the laser light that shows you how far away things are, that construction and carpenters use. And it's getting closer and closer and closer. And then he uses the sticky hand and it slaps it and stays there. And you're just like, oh shit. It's about to go
time to
down
back
now.
up. Thank you. Time to go.
That was another moment that I'm just watching and it's like, oh my gosh. And the way that they set up things, like the field scene, the way that gets set up for the ending. This is a movie that doesn't waste any scenes. The scenes that it has are there for a reason. And I think that's, I love the way that they set up everything that's going on throughout the film.
Yeah. No, I think it was done quite well.
Mm-hmm.
And let me catch up on the chat real quick. Hello, Bronson. Welcome.
Bronson?
In case you didn't know, we're discussing Come Play. Speaking of Child's Play 3. Oh. Ooh, you dropped your review, sir? Come on now, Sean.
Uh-oh.
All right, that's fine. You're entitled to your opinions.
Yes.
All right.
Don't worry. There was one time in the 90s I was wrong too.
Thank you. Yes, everybody liked the stream, not just for myself. This is the premiere, if you will, of Brain Mucus, and this is one of the series that I'll be discussing in this podcast. It's all about mental health and horror. So, with our first esteemed guests, yeah,
means the world.
Yeah, it does.
They are. Yes, I agree.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, man.
All right, cool. Thank you, sir.
Hey, thanks, Boom.
All right.
I mean, it's going to be a podcast anyway, so you're supposed to be listening, right? Hey.
Right.
Hello, Russell.
What's up, Russell?
Hey, Russell.
Nice to see you, buddy.
There you go. Good. I'm glad, because I did too. I don't think typically when I go into a horror movie, I think I try to keep my expectations a little bit low.
Mm-hmm.
That way, hopefully, I'll enjoy it more. It's not always the case, but in this case, it was. So I'm glad. Hello, Ashton.
Hey, what's up, Ashton?
Yeah, we don't have the cancel button here. I'm sorry. You're going to have to cancel yourself. It's kind of a bummer.
Cancel.
Right.
Yes. Well, just out of nowhere comes one of those inflatable hammers.
Right.
So, you kind of mentioned this a little bit, but if you're able, perhaps a little bit more detail on what the first time watching this movie was like for you guys.
Did we see this? Did we watch this in the theater?
No, it wasn't playing here. We had to wait till
did we watched it here?
Because of the pandemic.
Yeah. Again, I think this was another movie that we didn't really. It was just something we put on to watch. We were stuck at home.
Somebody, I can't remember who it was, but somebody gave us a glaring review. Of this film, and they were like, knowing us, it was somebody we knew. I want to say Britley.
No,
Britley came here and watched it with us.
Yeah.
Somebody gave us a review, and they were like, "Listen, we know that you're horror fans, and we know the extent of what this type of subject matter would mean to you.
Yeah.
I think you guys would really dig this film."
So we rented it on something. I don't remember what. But
it was on. I would see it in the few like Redbox rental things.
Yeah.
That were still around. That's where I remember seeing it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where we got it. The Red
It
Box.
might have been, but I think we streamed it because I
Yeah.
wanted. I'm pretty sure we streamed it because I needed to buy the Blu-ray afterwards because I wanted to see all the behind the scenes. Yeah, we do. We did.
Blu-ray, yeah.
Actually, my buddy Calvin, that's usually in the streams, he borrowed it.
Yeah.
Oh,
So yeah, we again didn't really know much about it.
Except for it was a young man dealing with autism and
yeah,
using an iPad for communication.
We kind of went into it like hoping that it would portray, autism in the right light, and it, in my opinion, it did. So yeah, I loved it. I bawled the first time I watched it.
It was a super emotional watch for the both of us.
Yeah.
There was more than one time where we were. The field scene I already talked about when you were gone. That one hit us pretty hard.
Yeah, I don't
Obviously,
think I cried.
ending.
The ending is when I cried at. I'm a little harder to make cry than he is.
Oh,
but...
I cried. I'm like Harry and Lloyd in Dumb and Dumber when they're crying at the car commercial. Like that's me. But yeah, there's just so many moments in this film that like I was getting so misty eyed. Like even with the dad, when the dad's trying so hard to be dad, not just friend.
Yeah.
Like that's another thing, and like when the mom and the dad are talking.
Well, I think it's frustrating for her. Like I always have to be the disciplinary, and your dad, you're fun. So he he comes to you and
he looks in your eyes.
Yeah, he gets that from you, and then I have to be the one that's tough and like you have to do this or you have to do that. And I feel like I get maybe resented him for that a little bit.
Yeah.
But another thing that we both talked about as we're watching was the perfect mix of practical to CGI in this film. With horror movies, especially, as we all know, once you really start to get reliant on the CGI, it just doesn't turn out too well most of the time.
Yeah.
This one didn't go over reliant because even in the CGI moments, it was very practical. The TV's turning on. Larry the monster was a very practical monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and terrifying.
Yeah, he was scary as hell. Yeah. And for those of you that don't remember, he won my Maniac Madness this year.
He did.
Oh, plug.
Oh my gosh. The boobs are back. I'm not doing that.
But there's just so many moments throughout this whole film. I've never in a movie gone from wanting to punch a child to wanting to hug that same child and tell him it's all right.
Yeah.
And the way that he flips, you really are rooting for him.
You are.
Once you find out what happened to him
and why he treated him the way he did.
And why he treated Oliver so harshly.
Oh yeah, that made me so mad what they did to him.
When they threw the phone and they're picking on him, and you're like, what? Why? Kids don't deserve that. And I think a reason I was mad about it, and again, I'm gonna go really deep here. And this is just me talking from the community that I live in. So I'm not talking about every community out there. The school that I worked in, the kids with autism were off limits, period. Yeah. Even the worst, shittiest bullies would never mess with the autistic kids. And it wasn't like because of the parents or the teachers. Even those kids knew that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Like you don't do that. And so I'm watching this and I'm like, this seems so unrealistic to me because they don't do that.
Yeah.
They don't pick on the autistic kids. They know that that's an off-limit situation. And then you find out that it really was. They had in his mind, he had a justifiable reason as to why he was angry at Oliver.
He was misunderstood.
Right. It wasn't, I'm trying to bully you. I'm trying to make you feel small. It was, I want you to.
He was trying to make him feel how he felt.
Exactly. I want you to feel what I felt because you betrayed me, Oliver. And like that to me, like, that was realistic. That is something a kid would do. And a reason for lashing out is he's hurt because of what he had thought.
Yeah.
The mom had called and said he didn't want to be his friend anymore. And he's like, well, fuck him then. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to be my friend then? I love you. Why? So, and when you had that moment of them coming up and just watching SpongeBob together, I cried at that moment too. I'm a big baby. I was like, that's fucking beautiful.
But again, mom just, was trying to she thought she was doing what was best for him. But, kids, especially every kid wants to be accepted. Yeah. Every kid does.
Yes.
But especially kids that are, that feel different already. Like they want friends. They want to feel accepted.
Well, that's another moment. When he's having that communication with his mom, you lied.
Yeah.
And like that moment, like you feel for the mom because she's not going to lie again. I did what I thought I had to do.
Yeah.
And he's like, why would you lie? Like it's another beautifully written moment. Like that, the whole, like that's, I feel like the people involved in this film really, really did their research into autism to make it as genuine as they could.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Yeah.
something I really appreciate for what they were trying to do.
Absolutely.
Someone who actually did their research about something before making a movie. Wow, what a
Right.
concept.
You know,
Crazy, right?
On Prey, they had Native Americans
Prey.
there that were
Yeah.
saying, this is the way that things have
Yeah.
to be done. It wasn't just one person going, "Ooh, don't do that. That's offensive."
And then them doing it anyways.
Yeah, one
Yeah.
bureaucrat saying,
Yeah.
"Ooh, don't do that." And I feel like that's what they did with this movie. Like, they really went all out to learn everything they could about what someone suffering with low functioning autism, non-communicative autism. I can't say that word. They can't communicate.
Right.
Nonverbal is what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
They really went all out to do that and show people this is what that is really like. And it felt extremely real to me to watch those moments.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I got a better, clearer understanding than what I might have had before through the movie. So that's nice. We're always open to that. That's what's important here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, you provide the cancel. All right. You can do that.
So it's like that, huh?
No, we're talking about come play. Brain damage maybe at some point in the future, because I know that has some interesting subject matter in it as well.
Mm-hmm.
But not today.
Right.
Thank you. We must clarify. Maybe.
I love.
Okay.
Okay, I just got to chime in real quick.
Yeah.
Tales from the Hood 1 is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I can't watch 2. When they brought in the Emmett Till story, that was too heavy for me.
Yeah.
That's real. That's not entertainment. And that was something for me that was just like,
just seemed very like tasteless, I guess.
and that's not Rusty Cundiff. Like, Rusty Cundiff, that was so out of pocket for him. Like, that's why I was so upset about it. Like, 'cause I watched the first one, the second one, and the third one all back to back to back with my son, because I've always been a huge fan of part 1. And when the video stores were going under, we got Tales 2 and Tales 3 for like 50 cents a piece. So me and my son had a Tales marathon night. And I like 3, actually. I think 3 is really, really good. Tony Todd is fantastic in it. It has a couple segments where you're like, oh, what the heck are we doing? But it's nothing like the Emmett Till thing where I was just like, this is tasteless.
Mm-hmm.
This is bad. So Tales 2, I don't even own anymore. I got rid of it because I just, I'm not like a cancel guy. I joke around about it all the time. I don't think anybody else should like throw their copy of the movie away. But for me personally, it was just too heavy. I couldn't.
Spent a whole 50 cents on that thing.
Yeah.
Man.
You got to have some pride.
Well, see, this will be something for you guys.
Tales 1 is so phenomenal. Like, oh my gosh, it's so good.
I need to watch all of them, to be quite honest. I'm aware of mostly the first one, but I haven't seen it completely. I must rectify this, clearly.
Yeah, well,
I can see the look. I know. I'll do it. I swear.
But you should at least watch the first Tales. Like, it's so good. The ending's been ruined for a lot of people. They know what's going on, but the way that movie ended for me, like when I was a kid, the twist shocked me and it scared me. That I could say that's one of the top 10 scariest moments I've ever seen in any movie ever, is the ending of Tales from the Hood.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil
anything.
I might have a vague idea, but who knows? I might forget by the time I watch it, and there we go. So sometimes that works out. It's nice.
Right.
You actually kind of touched on this next question just a little bit, but it might be a little bit different. On kind of a similar subject with mental health, I know personally I have some of these, and I'm sure others do. But what are some kinds of horror movies that you both avoid?
You know what I'm going to say, so I'll let you go ahead and do yours.
I avoid like end of the world type things.
Same.
Gives me bad anxiety. It just we kind of talked about this a little bit last night, but like what was that movie? We were just
The Day After Tomorrow.
The Day After Tomorrow. That gave me horrible anxiety, and I know he's already gonna say this, but but movies with the
essay.
yeah, the the
Yes.
non stuff, that you don't
The
wanna
no.
the no.
I kind of
it for
figured,
me.
but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that makes sense.
essay, essay is something for me that it makes me physically sick. Like
Mhm.
I feel like my skin gets hot. I feel angry. I've known too many friends and family that have gone through those type of situations,
Yeah.
and something I've said since I was young. I could hang out with someone that's murdered someone. I can have some level of forgiveness. I don't know what that person did to deserve it. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
never, ever
No.
a reason or an excuse for SA
Mm.
or pedophilia. Those two things to me, those are the only two unforgivable things to me that I just, once that happens, that's a wrap. That's out. It's
I
over.
agree with that.
Yeah.
I certainly agree with that.
Yeah. So those two things to me are just like anything else. I've stolen, and so have I. I've had to feed my family. I've done things I'm not proud of.
Yeah.
There's certain, there's things that people do that get them in trouble or get them side eyes. That's that happens. But you may have a reason to do what you've done.
Yeah. Nobody's
Yeah.
perfect.
But
that is not, that's
those two
uncalled for.
things,
And
it's unforgivable.
yeah.
It's you need help. You need to face what you've done, because you may not have murdered someone, but
You just
you've
ruined
murdered
someone's life.
someone.
Yeah. In a way, you murdered their spirit. We'll put it that way.
You've taken something from them that they will never be able to get back.
Absolutely.
And like I said, I'm not saying this because, I've got daughters. You don't have to have daughters to be a decent human being.
You just have to have empathy.
Yes. Yeah.
It's very simple.
And as a man, I'm not going to get too deep into this because it's a little too disgusting, but I don't see how physically you could do it.
Yeah.
I don't see how physically it would work. I'll say it. That's as far as I'll go.
I think that's a clear idea.
Yeah. I don't get it. That for me in a horror. And again, I'm not saying it's disgusting and people shouldn't watch those things. I know people that have gone through that, and that's an escape for them.
Mm-hmm.
That's a way for them to watch.
Well, like a revenge type story.
Yes.
They see that.
And they live vicariously through what's happening on film. And again, if that's your coping mechanism, I hope it works. I hope it helps. For someone like me, who thank the Lord above has never gone through anything like that, it's still something I can't fathom even to watch.
Yeah.
It hurts me to watch. And it's just, that's the big thing for me. Essay. To answer your question in the short answer, Essay is the one thing I can't stomach to watch.
That was fair enough. And I can also see, like you said, why people would even say that is their favorite. Like, I Spit on Your Grave. I've seen several people who say that is their absolute favorite. And initially, of course, you're like, why the fuck? And then you think about it a little bit and you're like, okay, so it's like a catharsis therapy.
Yeah, exactly.
You get closure in a way.
That's why. Now, if someone came in and was like, dude, I Spit on Your Grave is my favorite. Those three guys had it right. Then I'd be like, okay.
All
I don't
right.
think we can talk ever again.
No,
but
I'm going to call
you
someone.
Can't judge anybody by what makes them feel safe.
Yeah.
Right.
What makes them feel at home in their chest. So, I'll never judge. But for me, I can't. I can't do it.
No, I think that's probably one that I can understand not enjoying. It's also, I imagine, one that my mom isn't fond of. Totally understandable. That and seeing kids or animals in danger or worse. It was hell to get her to watch Pumpkinhead.
Oh, I bet.
So sorry,
everything
Mom.
there.
Yeah.
Sorry. So I've opened things up a little bit in the chat. If anybody has questions for my guest, my esteemed guests, all I ask is that you please stay on topic. I understand other questions, but let's try to stay on topic for that. In the meantime, what do we have here before we get into that? Roland Emmerich. I'm not familiar with him.
Oh, The Day After Tomorrow.
Okay.
Again, I said this last night. Action movies just really aren't my thing. Mm-hmm. I liked Ransom. I like Con Air. I think Con Air is fantastic. And I remember The Patriot just because of the "I'm not a child, you're my child." Like I remember Keith Knighty doing that all the time, and it just like cracks me up. But like, oh, if you guys knew Keith like this, that would totally make. Am I wrong? Like that would totally make sense if they knew Keith.
Sure.
But like The Day After Tomorrow is a movie that really genuinely freaked me out. Like it scared me. I'm with you guys. Like those movies, I'm not like they're not triggers of mine the way SA is, but they scare me.
They do me too. Like I want to board up my windows and
which death doesn't scare me. It used to.
Freezing to death scares me. Or drowning to death. Yeah.
Whatever plane of existence my mother's on now, I'll be with her. So the thought of death now doesn't scare me, but the thought of what my children will go through when I pass, that's what scares me. So yeah, those type of movies. I will say, and I don't know how many people know this. I think I've talked about it once or twice live. The movie that messed me up the most. Do you remember what it is?
The Truman Show.
The Truman Show.
Yeah.
Ruined me completely. Like I thought that was me. I thought that they were hinting to me that my whole life was a movie and everybody was watching me, and I had this like really bad nervous breakdown. And
I don't mean to laugh, but
yeah, thanks.
You're so vain.
I know.
The heartfelt.
You're like, that's me. Everybody loves me.
The whole world revolves around me. It's the Sledge Show, you know. Like I really did. As bad as it sounds, like you were with me, like you know, like
I heard of this, but you didn't have your mental breakdown.
No, I had my mental breakdown before we were like a thing.
But I did hear about it.
Yeah, it was a bad day in Kennytown.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that.
That's fair. I can see that. The end of the world type of stuff. No thanks. That for many years that's been on my list of no, I don't think so.
Yeah,
not today. I lived through the point where they were talking about 2012. Man, that's it. Thanks. Yeah, that's great. I love to hear about that.
I pissed the guy off so bad.
Oh, jeez.
Because he was talking about 2012, and I was like, why? Why do you think that the world's gonna end? He was like, because the Mayan calendar ends.
I remember
December
that.
21st, 2012.
Well,
I was like, dude, my calendar ends January 31st, and then or December 31st, and then it starts over again. I was like, I don't give a shit what the Mayan said. He got so emotional with me.
I'm not gonna lie. When I was a little kid and I thought that Y2K was gonna wipe us out, I was terrified. I was a little girl, like sitting on my bubble chair, like waiting for. I had a bubble chair. I had one of those blow up bubble chairs.
Watching Halloween Resurrection. Like, if I'm going out with you, Mike.
Yes, yes, sir.
It could be Wes. That's marvelous. I'm sure we've all gone through many different end of the world scenarios.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And here we are. Isn't it great?
Yeah.
All right. Let me see. While we wait for questions, get on it, people. What or who? Let's phrase it that way. Who would be your individual comfort character or characters that perhaps you relate to most? Doesn't have to be horror.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Toni Collette because I think she's like the best horror mom ever. And I like.
Wait, are we saying like an actor or actress, or like an actual character in a film?
Well, character primarily, but I mean Toni Collette's played a lot of characters.
Well, yeah, I mean she's a mom, like the mom aspect of her. Like I feel like she would be very comforting for me because that's who I look for in someone is my mom. Like that's my comfort.
And what would work with that is like it's not just horror. Like look at Little Miss Sunshine and how great Toni Collette was as the mother in Little Miss Sunshine. Like that was a fucking great movie.
Yeah, and I mean she's just a good horror mom. Well, she's just a mom in a movie, like a good one in general.
My comfort horror person. You know what? It's gonna sound really silly, but I would like for Bill Putnam from Casper. I'd like to kick it with him.
Yeah.
He was a good horror dad. Like I think me and him.
Yeah.
We were relatable on a lot of levels. Gomez Addams, because I think he's the perfect husband. Like he's a husband I strive to be with how much he loves his wife. He's so
in love with her, but he's funny, but he's creepy.
Yeah,
he's pretty cool.
So yeah, Gomez would be one that I think that I could really really associate with. Younger Ken would probably say Shelley. from Friday 3.
Oh gosh.
Me and
My,
Shelly
how
would have-
we've matured.
me and Shelly, man, we'd have gone rounds. Like we'd have had a lot of fun together. Stu Mocker, I think me and Stu, we would have some fun together. I
He's
don't know.
gonna comfort you.
You know what? Final answer: Ed and Lorraine, The Conjuring.
Yeah.
I think
I
that
can see that.
I could learn a lot from them, not just like in their relationship, but like as human beings with all the stuff that they've seen and been through.
Like, yeah, they've been through all this crap and they
Right.
still make time for each other and their child.
Exactly.
And, yeah.
So
If there's anybody that can make a relationship work, it's them.
Yeah.
We're going.
Yeah.
so,
I feel like if we were like trying to find ghosts, we'd be fighting. Like,
yeah, oh for sure.
it'd be too high stress.
Get the flashlight,
Put
goddammit!
the fucking trap down. Don't cross the fucking streams.
Well, fair enough. I think those are some marvelous answers, actually. Ed and Lorraine. The more I learn about like the real Ed and Lorraine, I'm like, I like the movie versions much better now. Thank
Way
you.
better. And I was so gonna say, like, I want to preface this by the fictional versions,
Right.
not the real life money laundering Ed and Lorraine, but like the fictionalized perfect Ed and Lorraine is
Right. Much better
who
example.
I mean by that.
Yeah.
As a much better example. And of course, Gomez's goals need we say more.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's interesting you mentioned. Fuck, now I'm forgetting his name. Harvey, specifically from Casper Harvey.
Casper.
I've noticed that over the years, the more I look at that actor, I'm like, maybe. The underrated horror daddy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you. So, all right. Wait. What do we have? The only reason you brought it up is because you heard the.
Oh,
yes.
dude, you're fine.
Right.
Yeah, bring it on. Talk. Let's
Totally
no,
fine.
let's talk.
Yes. And as I said, in case you can't read, I'm joking. We have things open for questions. If anybody has any questions directly to the Sledges, or perhaps just in general about come play, whichever you prefer. So, let's see. Okay. Once again, not to go too heavy into things here, but what would you guys like to say to anybody who is listening, watching, who might be dealing with similar matter as like what's seen in Come Play?
Our DMs are always open.
Yeah.
You are never, ever alone.
And nobody's perfect. Nobody's ever the perfect parent. It can be stressful when your kids are normal, let alone if your kids have, a disability, and it'll take a toll on you. And so don't ever feel bad about yourself. Don't put yourself down. And if you need someone to talk to, we're absolutely here.
Ashley, through Facebook, Instagram, her DMs are open. Me through Twitter, Instagram, my DMs are always open. We talk to everybody that DMs us unless it's something wildly inappropriate.
Yeah.
If you ever want, like I said, sometimes it's easier to talk to somebody when you're not face to face. Somebody that you feel like isn't judging you on what you're saying to them.
Or that will understand where you're coming from.
Right. Because not only have we been on this planet for over 30 years, over 70 years combined.
Don't be telling everybody how old we are.
We have children.
I'm only 20.
That makes me 50.
Right.
We have children that are 14, 11, and 3.
He's 15 now.
15. Holy shit. He just turned 15.
Yes, that's right. Happy belated birthday.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we know what it's like to be a young person too, no cap. We understand.
You do not know.
We understand.
I'm ending it right now.
Stop trying.
I got that Riz if you need someone to talk to.
He does not. He does not.
I might hit the gritty, but
Oh,
I know
God.
what's going on. I know what time it is.
All right. Well.
That's all the time we got for tonight, guys.
Yes.
I
And with that.
know what time it is too. Bye.
I'm so glad I invited you. No.
This is why
This
nobody puts us on their
Right.
channel, Ken.
I'm gonna get yelled at when we're done.
It's in case anybody didn't know, Ken's very hip to the game. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's
Fabulous.
facts,
Now,
bro.
see, now the questions will really be pouring in. Where did you find these people? They found me.
I
Shocking.
dug. I dug at the
Yeah.
bottom of the barrel.
Well, it's just like the guy, when he was at the hospital and they were like,
No, we're not doing
your dad has been pronounced dead. And he was like, I can't believe I've been saying it wrong for all these years.
that. No.
F's in the chat. Thank you.
Crickets.
I know.
Crickets.
Hard crowd.
No,
All
no.
right.
Okay, so if nobody has any questions, if we cover things quite well, it's possible. It's rare, but it's possible. I shall give you guys the floor a little bit. Just a little bit. Thank you. Yes.
Thank
exactly.
you. Yes. Don't give him the floor, please.
Well,
Do not trust him with that.
to talk about things that you guys have recently done, I know you mentioned this a little bit, but things that you guys have coming up, anything like that. And of course, as per the usual, I have provided links in the description of this video, which will also be transferred to wherever we'll put this podcast. But if you will, plug away.
Actually, tomorrow is our new This Week on Sledgehammer Horror, so you guys will see what's coming up this week. Something very exciting. We have a very special episode of My First Horror Movie premiering Tuesday with Mr. Lloyd Kaufman of Trauma Industries. That was a dream come true to be able to work with him. Our In Defense Of with Haunted Hippie is coming up. Our In Defense Of with Dice Rollin' is coming up. With Ryan 1988 is also coming up.
We got some doozies, and we're defending them.
Yes, yes, we are defending some films.
We are.
Yeah, it's just we're really excited about the direction things are going. We're going to start reviewing more films. For members of the channel, we're going to start doing some acting scenes. We're going to say it because our first scene. Okay, I'm going to take the camera down for a second.
Okay. I'm glad I have pants on.
Don't worry, it's a podcast. No one will see.
Ashley has a tattoo here that says, "Don't you ever think about the future," with Leela from Futurama's hair. And mine says, "Well, sure. If I can find it. Where'd I go?" There it is. Mine says, "Well, sure, but you're always in it," with Fry's hair. And we're going to act out that scene as the first scene that we're going to do together for members only. So become a member of Sledgehammer Horror.
Funny
at the
enough,
channel.
we already have those costumes.
Yeah, and we already got the Fry.
We've got the cosplays.
Don't ask why we have those.
See, doesn't it always pay to be a nerd?
We got them about 3 years and 9 months ago, and Kenley's 3, so I don't remember why we got those costumes.
Weird.
For those of you that don't know, I'm a huge Futurama fan. Not only do my wife and I have matching Futurama tattoos, I have a not life size, but
it takes up your whole body.
Yeah, my whole body. Wow. I have a Bender tattoo on my shin. I've got little Bender down there. Futurama is very important to me. A show that probably saved my life at a time where I was, you talk about mental health. A show that really, really helped my mental health when it was probably the lowest it's ever been.
That could have been your comfort. Bender.
Yeah. Either Bender or Fry. I think I relate more to Fry.
But I think we've got several. There's a list. Everybody has a list, Yeah. And then later on, you're going, oh, yeah.
Right.
That's how it always goes, right. For sure. Yeah, we're going to start acting out scenes for members. Just something fun that Ashley and I wanted to do. And the first one, we just thought it would be fitting to do that clip from Futurama just because another thing people may not know, I am a musician. I play, if there's an instrument that has strings, keys, or you can hit it, I probably play it. And one of the first songs I wrote for Ashley was a song called Except You. And the song literally starts off with, the first verse starts off with, "We're watching my favorite show about rockets, the future, and a robot. And my stomach is tied in knots." It's just like that's how much Futurama sculpted our relationship. We used to hang out at night and watch Futurama every night.
Back when we were kids.
Yeah, back when we were kids, and it was always special to us. it was like horror movies, Futurama, and Grounded for Life is what we grew up on. And so that's another thing that I could do a whole 3-day podcast on, is Futurama and what that show means. You talk about crying, like it's an animated show, and I've cried like easily 5 episodes. I can list 5 episodes off the top of my head that I've
heard some stories.
Oh man,
I've heard stories. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, right after my mom had passed, we had watched an episode called Game of Tones. And for those of you that aren't familiar with Futurama, the main character is Philip J. Fry. He falls in a cryogenic container in the year 1999. He gets frozen, and he wakes up in 2999, right at the turn of the millennium in the year 3000. So everybody he knew is dead. And in this episode, he just keeps thinking about his mom and what he would say to his mom if he had the chance. And Nibbler, who is another character in the show, gives Fry that opportunity at the end of the episode. And he's sitting there, and he's like, he finds out that the Wisconsin Badgers beat Rutgers 24-17 in the Rose Bowl. And he's like, wait a minute, I don't remember this. I wasn't here for this. How can I know? And Nibbler's like, this isn't your dream. This is your mom's dream. So you can have that comfort and closure with your mom. And he's like, Mom, there's so many things I want to say to you. And she's like, well, what do you want to say? And they just hug. And like, oh man, like, it's like when you lose someone unexpectedly.
Yeah.
You fall apart. Like you completely fall apart, and you want those moments of, what if I could go back and tell them the things I wanted to say? I wouldn't. I would just hold them.
Yeah.
And never ever let them go. And like I said,
now you're gonna have us all crying.
I know.
Yeah.
That's just that was an episode that really, like Jurassic Park, like with the dog, like that's one that got me. Luck of the Fryish with Fry's nephew, holy shit, cried like a baby in that one. It's just it's a comedy show that's animated, but it's so smart. Like the writing is so
it's the same writers that do The Simpsons.
Right.
Like,
And
they know what they're doing.
Yeah, and The Simpsons have had their fair share of emotional moments too, but not like Futurama. Like the intelligence that goes behind Futurama and the writing, it's something special, and I can't wait for it to come back. It has been announced it's coming back.
That's right, nerds. Get ready.
I know. I'm so ready. Like, damn, I'm ready.
Fair enough.
I went off the deep end there with Game of Tones.
You did? I was like, dang, he's gonna start crying.
Yeah, that episode was something else, man.
You didn't know you had to bring tissues, now did you?
That's the thing. We're talking about mental health. I got to go all out.
I know. I was going to say the emotions that we've gone through on this live.
Yeah.
It's a whole spectrum.
Yeah.
This is legit been one of my favorite things I've ever done.
Crying. They feel a little disgusted. You know, maybe laugh a little bit.
Well, I love that we can hang out with one of our best friends and talk about mental health and how special it is. And it's a great thing you're doing, because you don't know if that one listener is going to listen to this and realize that there are people out there that are going through the same things or have gone through the same things. And like I said, Ashley and I we're always available to talk.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just we would never want someone to feel alone or isolated, or like they're like it's not going to get any better. I promise you it gets better.
I feel like we've all been there at one point in our lives.
We've all always needed that person to be there for us, and I promise you, Ashley and I will be that person if you guys need to reach out. We will always keep our DMs open. Like I said, as long as it's appropriate.
Yeah, don't be a dick.
Literally.
Yeah, literally.
Send one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one wants to see that. Believe me.
I've been married 18 years. Trust me, she doesn't want to see it. But yeah, it's just that's the thing. As long as if you're reaching out for help or you're just needing someone to talk to, we will always be there. Always. Ashley will never be like, yo, you're a girl, don't message my man. And I'll never be like, yo, you're a dude, don't message my girl. Reach out to us if you need help.
Yeah.
That's important. It's important for you to have someone that's there for you. It's important to know that you can trust the people you're talking to. Ashley and I will always be there. We will always have your best interests at heart. I promise.
Yeah, and I can confirm, I don't know if you'll base anything off of what I say. I wouldn't. But I can confirm that these are two of the nicest, warmest, kindest, most open people from day one of talking to me that I've ever encountered. So would absolutely say, like I said, links in the description if you need to, or if you just want to, if you want to check out what they do, which I do recommend. So, with that, are you crying yet? Are you?
Right.
Well, be
Come
knowing.
on, man.
With that, we have questions, I believe. From Russell Dorsey, forgive me. If you could remake any horror movie, what should it be?
Like, I want to clarify this. I'm going to answer it one way, but are you saying if we as a team could remake one,
Or
if we could see a horror movie remade? Because I know if me and Ashley could remake one, oh man, I don't even know. Like, there's, me personally, I would do a bigger budget. Sometimes they come back.
Yeah,
that's what I would do.
I think we're getting this already, but I really want to see a new People Under the Stairs.
I pointed right at her poster.
Yes, but I think we are going to get this.
Yeah, I would love to see Sometimes They Come Back with an actual, not a made-for-TV one. I'd love to see a theatrical Sometimes They Come Back.
Mm-hmm.
I'll play Jim Norman. I'm just throwing that out there and putting my name in the hat.
If anybody's looking.
Yeah.
Once again, links in the description.
Yeah, that's a movie. Yeah, I know that you appreciate that movie as well, Dice. I love that movie. I've loved that movie since I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that if they could put an actual budget into that film and, not just a look what they did with It 2017,
This is true.
when they had a budget. Now, even if you don't like the films, they look fantastic.
Yeah.
Everything about those films look great. And could you imagine Sometimes They Come Back like that?
Oh.
Like with, like when the face. We must be bored if we're doing shit like this, man. Like, it could just be really, really dope. So for me, Russell, if I could personally remake one, I would want to do Sometimes They Come Back.
People Under the Stairs. I would like to do that, but you would have to have the right cast.
Yeah, for sure.
To make it,
It is what makes things very good if you got the right cast. So
absolutely.
From Bronson Bright Wolf, I don't recognize any of the actors from Come Play. I don't remember seeing any other movie with those actors in them, although I think it's pretty something that Come Play is based on a short film from 2017. Yeah.
Very.
And I watched it short film, and behind the snes is how I did that. So
it's amazing. A lot of the films that I really, really like started off as shorts. Saw started off as a short. Lights Out started out as a short.
I was following that. I forget his name, so sorry. But I was following that guy on YouTube who ended up being the director for Lights Out, and I believe even Annabelle Creation. So I was like, when I was seeing him go into a feature director kind of seat.
Right.
So it's cool to see that. I like to see that.
Yeah.
I agree. When you get to see someone make their dream come true. I don't have a band anymore. My band in high school was called Hearts Bleed Black.
How emo.
Yeah.
He was so emo.
I was very, very emo.
He's the guitar player.
I was the guitar player in an emo band.
Yeah.
The one that I did that was just me, which is funny because everything you hear on Sledgehammer Horror, a lot of what you hear in the short film Home is Where the Haunt is all me.
Well, even our intro.
Yeah, the intro.
When we did the live. Yeah, you did that.
I did all that. I've been playing music since I can remember too. But yeah, the acoustic stuff I did as a full band was called Squid Fight, but it was just me. I just really like the name Squid Fight. I thought that was cool, which is actually from a Futurama episode.
I feel like you've had 100,000 different names.
I have. Amora.
Seneca.
I was in a band called Amora, a band called Seneca. Mio Kalaska.
Yep.
I don't play much anymore. I mean, I sit around and I play my guitar and I annoy the fuck out of Ashley.
You don't even play it when I'm home.
But I just don't have the time. I love it. But like I said, with Sledgehammer Horror, being a baseball coach, being a father, being a husband, working full time, you just got to manage your time.
You only have so many hours in the day.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it for me.
Indeed.
Me and John DM all the time. I love John to death.
There you go. Testimonials. Everyone is awesome here. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Oh, you meant to say prequel. I kind of assumed.
Oh, yeah.
We got it. It's okay.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey, Fest.
Hey.
We'll see you soon.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound ominous.
We're gonna see you soon.
It's all about tone, you know.
Right.
Yeah. Excellent.
It's all right.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw it out there. If I could sing, I would have been a rock star, man. I can write music really well. I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I'm very rarely like that. I'm like that every day. But
I mean, you thought people were watching your entire life.
that's true. I am pretty
I'm
vain.
just kidding.
But I think I write good music for like
You do.
if you like indie acoustic emo sad shit that makes you want to bash your face into a wall because you're crying.
Yeah, and you say I'm emo.
I'm so like I was so the emo kid growing up, like in a town where
anybody who listened to My Chemical Romance, listen. That includes me. So
it's funny because back then, like I was so like I liked My Chemical Romance, but I was like they're a little too mainstream for me, bro. Like I liked them, but like I was like you got to listen to Penfold or Mineral, man. Like that's where the emo scene is. You know, like I was such a fucking snob. I feel so bad.
Flipping his hair.
I did. But I was such a fucking like douchebag when it came to music. I was like, yo, man, yeah, like that's like the mainstream shit, bro. Like if you want the good shit, I'll show you what the good shit is. Like I was such a snob. If anybody out there ever stumbles upon this,
you still are a snob. You like never let me have the radio when we're driving.
Yeah, because your music sucks.
You never let me have the aux cord.
He doesn't.
If anybody ever stumbles upon this and I went to high school with, I'm sorry if I was a dick. Especially if Carly Bowling, if you're watching this ever.
Okay.
No, dude, like listen.
You're just like going off the deep end.
No, I gotta tell the story real quick. Because I think about, you know, like how sometimes you lay in bed and you just think of something.
At like 1 a.m. You're like,
idiot.
Yeah.
I don't know why I did this, man, but Carly Bowling, if you're out there, I'm so sorry. Me and Bill, who you guys know, if you've seen the short film Home is Where the Haunt Is, he's the whiskey ghost. He's been Ashley and I's best friend since we were like fucking 5 years old. And
well, yours.
Yeah.
But he's been my friend since I've known you.
Right. And then Justin, another guy, he was the drummer in our band. And we told our AC advanced conditioning teacher, we were like, yeah, we'll work out and lift weights and do that dumb shit if you let us choose the music for this. And he was like, okay. He's like, and so I remember this perfectly. I played Coheed and Cambria, and I played the song A Favorite House Atlantic, Good Eye Sniper song.
Yes.
And Carly Bowling came up to me. She's like, this song's really cool. Who is this? I was like, oh, they're this underground band called Tomb. You won't find it anywhere.
Oh my God.
Like, I was such a dick. Like, I was such a dick, man. And, like, I should have welcomed her. You know, if it was 37-year-old Ken, I'd be like, this is Coheed and Cambria, dude. I got a tattoo of them on my arm. Like, they're so dope. You should check them out because they're fucking amazing. But I was like, if she hears them, she's one of those, you know, I don't want to say she was a preppy girl because she was really kind. She wasn't, like, a dick like a lot of the preppy kids were. But I was like, if she starts to like it, it's going to be popular. And if it becomes popular,
that's what went into your mind.
I know. Like I had.
He foretold the future.
I had one of those "That's So Raven" moments where it was
oh
like,
my God.
you know, like, and I was like, nah, they're this underground band called Tomb. You'll never find them anywhere. Like 2 weeks later, she was rocking a Coheed shirt. I was like, fuck. She found him.
So it didn't work. Your plan didn't
work.
Yeah,
I know, but like I've always thought about that because she had to think afterwards that I was such a douchebag. I'm not. Like I've never really been a douchebag. I was just kind of an idiot.
Yeah, clearly.
Well, there is a difference, you know, between being an idiot and a douchebag. And there's also a douchebag idiot.
You know the things I think about at night? It's like when someone's waving and they're really not waving at me and I wave back. Like that's the stuff that I thought of. Like, oh my God.
Carly Bullet. But it's even to the point where like I've like tried to find her on social media to apologize. Like it's gonna be like Billy Madison and she's gonna like start polishing the gun and put the lipstick on and cross my name off a list. like that's what it's gonna be like when I finally apologize. I'm sorry I told you Cody Cambria was Tomb. Carly Bowling, please forgive me. And like, do Like, it's gonna be like that moment in Billy Madison.
Oh my god.
Oh, God.
You.
Oh,
So if you're out there listening, sorry.
yes, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. We can't either.
See, she remembers.
I was all right. I could play good. I just can't sing for dog shit.
Sorry, play to the strength. Play to the strengths. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I'll see you soon.
Even if you weren't expecting me.
Listen, I can't go too much into detail now. Hey, what's up, jerks? A friend of mine that is a good friend of mine just got an audition for Final Destination 6.
Ooh.
Yeah. I can't say anything else because of
All right.
NDAs. But
you heard it here first.
yes, I'm very, very excited. So I hope for his sake he gets it.
Mm-hmm.
We shall keep all of our collective horror fan fingers crossed. Sounds
you.
worse than it is, but you get it. All right, let me see. I think we have, time for just one more question. Bronson once again. Do you guys think Vampire in Brooklyn should be remade? I don't think so, but I'm just curious to see what you guys think. I have not seen it yet, so I cannot speak on it.
I haven't seen it either.
It's one of those movies. Again, I am not inherently against remakes. I think if you can take something and you can make it your own. But when we always talk about casting.
Yeah.
And trying to one-up Eddie Murphy for a role like this is going to fall flat, just like it did with Robert Englund and Freddie. You're not going to get, especially if they did something like fucking, what's that guy's name that I hate? I'm my body.
Kevin Hart.
Yeah, like you probably cast like Kevin Hart or some shit. And it's just like, would I watch it? Of course I would watch it. I love Vampire in Brooklyn. I love Eddie Murphy. Growing up, he was my dad's favorite comedian. Me and my dad used to argue who was funnier, Chappelle or Murphy. Me and my son argue now who's funnier, Hart or Chappelle. And Chris Rock is in there. But yeah, I'm going off the deep end again. Son of a bitch. Would I personally would I like to see it remade? No, I could do without. I think the movie's fine the way it is.
But if it was, you would watch it.
But I would absolutely check it out if it was remade and they casted it right. Like I said, if I knew that it was gonna be like fucking Kevin Hart, I probably would not watch it.
I'll only watch it so I can shit on it.
Yes. And again, I think Kevin Hart, the stand-up comedian, is just fine. I think he's funny. He makes me laugh. I think Kevin Hart, the actor, I want to punch him in his fucking face because he does not have any range. He has no depth. He's the same dude in everything he does. What happened to my body? It's just that same fucking guy in everything he does.
That fucking boy.
That fucking guy. So yeah, I wouldn't be interested if it was something like that. But if it was something where they were trying to make the plot and the story better through the enhancements that we have now, of course I would check it out. I would not actively root for it. I wouldn't sign a petition for it or some shit if I was walking down the street, but yeah, I'd check it out.
Okay. That's fair. Jerks says perfect the way it is.
That's my fear.
It will sadly get coming to America treatment. Possibly. I'm afraid
to America.
There's a lot of remakes going on, I'm afraid. So, take it or leave it, I guess. Yep. But
thanks.
I agree.
Thanks, Texas Chainsaw.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, he did. He absolutely did.
All right. So, I know there's a slight delay. I hope that everybody's gotten their questions in. If not, the comments are always open.
Yes.
So feel free to leave any questions down there. And if they are specifically for the Sledges, of course, I will pass them on to them. So, with that being said, I believe we have covered everything.
Okay.
Possibly. If not, I will hurt myself later. No. Cursing myself once again. I would like to thank everybody who came out to ask questions, to observe, to interact. Always appreciated. We will be having more episodes like this. This is the kind of format that I want to do, is live stream so that you guys can participate, and then later on, I will convert it, edit it a little bit, make it shiny for podcasting, and we'll see how that goes. This is the first episode, so be nice.
I can't wait.
No, we're excited we got to be the first.
I'm being genuine, 100% serious right now. I don't have my mom's necklace on, but I was gonna swear on my mom. This is one of my favorite things I've ever done.
Mom?
I don't know. She's over
Thank you.
there.
Where's your mom?
Anytime we get to work with you, Dice, is just fucking fantastic, and the fact that we got to talk about something that's so close to the both of us, this was great, and the chat was awesome. People were being kind and sweet, and I can't wait to see the episodes you have coming up.
Yeah, this is awesome.
I appreciate you guys doing this because, like I said, I've mentioned this maybe a couple times probably. You guys are the first people that came to mind when I was figuring this out. I have been trying to formulate it a little bit for a while now. I'm sure several people that I've thrown the idea out who went enthusiastically already know this. I finally went, okay, you know what? Fuck this. I need to get this going. So, yeah, you guys are the first ones that came to mind because I knew that you guys would be very open and wanting to do something like this. So that's a good way to start it.
Thank you so much.
And I appreciate you greatly, of course, for agreeing to do so and being vulnerable, I guess is the best way, for hopefully helping somebody out there who might need this, or maybe someone who would learn something from this.
That's all we hope for.
Yeah.
To be a light for somebody that needs it.
Yeah, and that's the whole idea behind this. Aside from entertaining and perhaps bringing to light some movies that people didn't know or didn't know the meaning of, maybe this will be helpful for some people. So that's the whole idea.
Please, if you haven't, please check out Come Play.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's such like, is it the perfect movie? No.
No, but
it's a movie I've watched more than once, which is not something I can say about a lot of movies.
Right. I mean, even we're like inviting people over to watch it with us.
Yeah. We brought my cousin, one of our best friends. We brought her over to watch it with us. So I mean, it's we that's how much it meant to us. We wanted to immediately share it with others. So
and I mean, you're passing it around too to like.
Yeah, Calvin has it right now. Yeah, so that's
Calvin. If you're out there, we know you, man. But see, that's the whole idea behind this.
Yeah.
So,
which is awesome.
We are.
It's all right.
Yeah, we are honored we were able to be the first episode. Like that's like if I could have a trophy for that, it'd be at the top of the mantle. Thank you, Dice. We appreciate that.
I don't know if I have a trophy to give, but maybe I'll make little stickers. I don't know. Make little stickers. I don't know.
Right.
And of course, if you came in late, no worries. Totally fine. I know YouTube is very good about their notifications. You can always watch this. I'm not monetized, so it's not like I can make it into a members only thing. Don't worry about it. I kind of figure I'll just keep this in the Brain Mucus playlist on my channel so you can watch endless. And this is the raw version. We'll call it that. That's right. Yes.
Yes.
Someone out there will see it when they need it. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. I do appreciate it.
Thank you.
And of course, I know I've already mentioned this, but thank you to Ken and Ashley for joining me for this first episode. A delight as always. And this will probably be like a monthly thing. So a new episode each month. That's how I see others do it. So I figured, why not?
Perfect.
And so far, I believe I'm okay to go ahead and say this. I already have 2 other guests lined up, and we're going to be doing streams for this. I'm still working out the scheduling for the streams themselves. The episode's just audio podcast. That'll be monthly, but we're working on the streams. So I'm not going to reveal the movies yet, but I'm going to mention the guests. Next week, I believe, Cody Leach is going to be on. The week after that, I know. I was like, okay, we'll send the question. He's like, I love that idea. Let's do it. I'm like, all right.
Fuck yeah.
And then after that, we have Celise of Sweet and Spooky.
Yes,
our
we
girl.
love her.
Yes. Bless her. She was also 100% on board, so I'm very glad to see such an enthusiastic response from this. And of course, the list keeps getting longer, so don't worry about it.
I just got to throw this out there with how funny this really, really is. Like how loving and tight our community is. Like our first.
Well, I mean, like
our first 3 episodes
are in
defense of are Dice Rolling, Cody Leach, Celise.
Yeah.
Like that's like those are the first people we reached out to, man. And it's just like, I fucking love our community and just how supportive everybody is of each other and how we're all like we come up with this idea and we bounce it off each other and we're like, let's fucking do it.
Yeah.
You know, let's make this happen and let's work together. Like,
Yeah.
God, it's so fucking special.
It is. It's awesome.
Like, as dirty and disgusting as the internet can be at times, like moments like this are just like, it's so special.
Yeah.
I would have killed to have this type of outlet when I was a teenager.
Oh, I know.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
just thinking that, like, you know, how cool it is now to, like, be in this horror community. Like, it'd been awesome.
Even though I'm geriatric at this point.
Yeah, that's
I have
true.
I have
My
one of
mom will be in contact right now saying,
I have one of those blocks of pill things. The daily
I have one of
Monday through
those. Shut up.
Friday.
Those were for my vitamins. Shut up.
Now he's getting really raw.
Now we're getting really raw on your episode.
Oh, God. But no, you're right, because I think a lot of us can probably have a similar sentiment, shall we say. But yeah, no, speaking of mental health, there were several times in like the early years and before of my YouTube channel where I was like, I don't know anybody. I'm on my own with this. Great. You know, many a dark night, as it were. But now, yeah, if I could go back and talk to 20-year-old me or earlier and go, hey, guess what? Then I probably would have been like, you're fucking lying. So it's really, really cool.
Yeah.
One question that I
you're-
get, I don't know if you get it too, babe, but like when people are like, you guys are so successful with Sledgehammer Horror, that's so cool. And it's like, our success level with Sledgehammer Horror has nothing to do with money or views or subs. It's the friendships that we've made.
Yeah.
What a Ghoul Wants, Anna.
Yeah.
We got to meet up with her and go out and see a flick. We went and seen X together.
Mhm.
You know, the friends that we've made, the people like that I genuinely care about, that I talk to once or twice a week.
We're hoping to see Celeste this summer.
Yep, we're hoping to go out and
Yeah.
visit Celeste this summer. It's just, you know, there's so many people that Michael Colomb, who's a very good friend of mine now.
We
We went to
him.
California to be able to see him, and I love him. We'll be reviewing one of his movies here in the next couple of weeks. And it's just, you know, like without sounding sappy or, you know.
Too late.
That's what
Right.
you do.
I
That's
know.
what you do.
I know, but it's just like, it's not just, you know, it's not just Dice and Cody and Celeste. It's Nathan, it's Russell, it's
Yeah.
John,
It's our horror
Bronson.
community.
You know, it's the people that come every week and hang out with us. Like,
Yeah.
I know to some people it's like, oh, I'm just gonna go hang out and, you know, watch YouTube for a little bit and chat. For us, that's the world.
Mhm.
You know, I'm so excited when I see you guys in here chatting with us, and like to know that we mean something to you guys, like you mean to us. Like, that's so fucking rad. So thank you guys,
Yeah.
everybody in the chat. Like, we love you all too. Thank
You guys are just
part of our weekly
as
life.
important.
Yes,
Keep that in
we
mind.
are.
It's very important.
Yes, you are.
All right. Yes, absolutely. My DMs and everything are always open, just like Ken and Ashley. So I appreciate that. Whatever you might have in mind there. Side note, yes, Trick or Treat could be remade theoretically. It could be.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Hold on. Bronson's talking about the good Trick or Treat, not Trick or Treat. He's talking about the Aussie one, Trick or Treat.
Yeah.
Oh, Sammy Kerr.
Yeah.
I like both. That's all I'll say. Yeah. I see the look. Whatever. All right. What are your thoughts on Gene Simmons and Ozzy Osbourne being in a movie? Another one?
If it was, if they come back, I'm not interested.
I don't know.
They were
I don't
great
know.
in Trick or Treat. You know,
Yeah.
I thought Trick or Treat was fine. I like that movie a lot.
It would highly depend on what the movie was going to be and what roles they would be playing.
Exactly.
Oh,
If
but-
they had little cameos, that'd be dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that. You know, for
I'm
the
kinda off
metalheads
Gene
out there.
Simmons. You know, the recent events and recent comments of Gene Simmons has me quite disgusted in his views on things. But
Yeah,
that's
I'm
a
not
story for
terribly
another day.
surprised.
Yeah. But I would say, if you've been dressing the way you've been dressing and doing the things you've been doing for 40 years, maybe you should shut the fuck up. That's all I'm going to say.
You've been wearing
this-
so much glitter, face paint, and also high heel go-go boots. Shut up.
For sure.
Yeah, don't give me
Shut
your opinion on this. If you've
Mhm.
been essentially doing it for 40 years to make money, keep your mouth shut. That's all I'm going to say.
There you go. Some appreciation.
Loved having you.
And also, hi DMC. You're late. No, it's fine. I know time zones are completely different. It's all fine. We were just wrapping up, as a matter of fact. But I appreciate you being here all the same. And you can always watch the replay, as I mentioned. Loads of fun. There was also mention of sometimes they come back. So that's something to look forward to. I know you like that.
Oh, DMC's a fan of Sometimes They Come Back?
He was the one that requested my review of.
Oh, you're a friend
nice.
of mine. That's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Here you go. Fellow fans. We
Yes.
bring people together, you see.
Yeah.
So, I've already said my thank yous and everything, but as an overall blanket statement, thank you to everybody in the chat. Thank you to my guests. Of course, look forward to, hopefully, as long as things check out, we might reschedule, but you guys will know about that. Cody Leach next week, which I believe would be the 26th. I believe the 26th. No, that's might be Sleaze. Whatever. You guys will know.
Someday.
As soon as I
Right.
schedule it, I'll schedule it at least a few days early so you guys will know. So keep
Can't
an eye out
wait.
for that.
Yeah,
Cannot wait.
absolutely.
Yes. And of course, keep an eye out on whatever platforms for podcasts for Brain Mucus to show up. I've already claimed the name on a few different areas. So just keep an eye out. I'll be promoting, of course, letting said guests know. So there you go.
We'll be promoting as well. I
Yeah.
can't wait to be listening. I love listening to podcasts at work, so this is going to go right into my new rotation. I'm very excited for you.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. See? It'll be lots of fun. Hi, Vince. How are you?
Mm-hmm.
Lost Boys? Which one? What are we talking about?
No, Sometimes They Come Back is not the same as The Lost Boys.
No.
Yeah, no. Not exactly. I mean, there's some leather, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
there's
quite
definitely
the
some
same.
leather, but there's a lot less saxophone humpage in Sometimes
Sadly.
They Come Back. Sadly, yeah.
Sadly.
that is a good quote, though, Bronson. Yes. Isn't that? Yes. No. Okay. Not the same film. Not the same film. No. Two different movies. And
Check
if
out
you haven't
Sometimes They
seen
Come
it,
Back. It is streaming for free on YouTube.
there you go. And afterwards, you can always see the reviews of myself. And have you guys covered that?
I don't think so.
Okay. I was going to promote it if you
Not
had.
on our channel.
Nope.
Okay.
We did a review of Come Play, though.
Yeah.
There
That
you
was
go.
the first movie review Ash and I did
Well,
together.
we talked about it on.
No, we did a review of Come Play.
No, I know. I'm talking about Sometimes They Come Back. We did it with Justin on his channel.
We did. Over
Oh,
on Ryan
okay.
1988, we did a whole deep dive review of Sometimes They Come Back. You're
Mhm.
right. We did. Loved
So
it.
there you go.
Mhm.
Voila. You can have both. So, with that, to not prolong entirely too much, too late, I will talk with you guys as soon as we're off air for a brief moment, if you're willing. And once again, thank you, everybody. Stay tuned for the next episode of this that will be streaming here on this channel. And until then, think about your mental health, darling. Watch a good horror movie. If not, come play perhaps one of your favorites. And we can talk about that in the comments as well. So with that, I say good morning, good night, good evening, good afternoon,